Okay, solid. So, pretty much what this is. Actually, maybe I should tell the camera just in case. Just so y'all know, Marquis has no idea about personality types and all of that. He hears me talking about it every now and then, but
I have no clue.
Yeah. And although I have a very strong idea of what type Marquis is, I'm approaching this as if I have absolutely no idea. So who knows? We'll see what y'all probably think too, if anything. But all right, now it's just me and you, man. So essentially what this is there are 16 different personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with you right now and I'm just going to ask you. It's conversational.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to be like yes, no, and just that. And like, you know, but it's like, you know, you relax, which I feel like you're pretty good at. So you just chill, relax. There's no such thing as a wrong answer, just as long as it's really like authentic to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then you don't know. Like, because that's also what I'm here for. And by the end, I'll tell you which of the 16 personality types I believe best fits you, because we're complex creatures. So, you know, of course, like nobody really neatly always fits into a box of some sort. But yeah, with that being said, like I'll explain to you like which personality type I think best fits you, and I'll explain why. And then from there we can move. And you can also let me know. Yeah, you can let me know like, oh, this actually does make sense, or like, oh wait, actually I don't really resonate. Which, be honest with me, with everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like it doesn't fit, let me know. If you feel like, oh, I misheard you at certain parts, definitely let me know, tweak it, all of that.
Okay.
So, cool.
Sounds solid.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, so like just tell me anything.
Or just,
yeah, like work. What did you major in? Maybe like just tell us anything that's like about yourself that you feel like
is needed. Let's see. I guess start. I have. I'm the middle child.
Okay.
How old are you? I'm 24.
24.
Yeah. So I was always the middle child. And then I guess another thing is both my parents were in the army, so that's another thing to know. And then my granddad was in the Syrian military, so I guess a long generation of just military people.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then let's see, I ended up joining the military. Did that for like 3 years, 3.5. We count basic, but I did that for 3 years, got out, you know, realized that was not for me, as my parents hyped it up to be. But other than that, you know, I'm a pretty straightforward person. I think all around a funny guy. Let's see, what else can I say? No, I'm like straightforward. Like, I don't know, I'm laid back. I think that's like the best term for me, is just like laid back, or like just like nonchalant. Like nothing bothers me. I don't know if it's because, like, you know, just having siblings, or like, you know, just my family, but like nothing ever really bothers me. So like everything just like, then again, at the same time, like everything goes over my head. Like, like people could tell me something, and then I'll dead just be like, I'll take it literal, and then later on I'll be like, you know, then I think about it, that didn't make that a damn lick of sense.
Do you have an example?
Let's see. Someone could be like, yeah, man, you know, we was playing basketball the other day, and, you know, I shot a 3, but I think I twisted my ankle and might be out for the season. And in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker really, you know, like the NBA or something? Like, what the hell? And then later on, I'll be like, oh, shit, I think he was just joking. Like, I think he was just, like, giving me, like, a basketball reference. Like, I'm dumb as hell. But, like, things like that, I just take people, like, literal. Until, like, later on, or, like, they'll tell me, like, if people know me, they'll tell me, like, no, I'm just joking. I'm like, oh. Because I'll take them like way too literal.
Got you.
That's just me. That's just me.
Okay. And when you say they are straightforward, what do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like a regular dude. Like, just I go about everything just like normally. I feel like I have like a regular work schedule. I'm not like lazy, but I'm not like OD like hardworking. Like I don't know how to like explain it, but like
okay,
I'm like straightforward. Like I don't know, I just steer straight. Like,
got you. Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, so you don't mean straightforward as in like blunt.
Blunt?
Yeah. Like, you know how like people be like straight shooters?
Yeah, straight shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would probably be like a way better term. Is like blunt about everything. Like I don't know, I just tell people like the truth. I guess that's like the best way to say it. Like I'm just honest. Just because it's like, why not? Yeah,
sure. Do you think that you're good with tact or not really?
Tact?
Yeah.
Like text?
Like being tactful, like
like you mean like tactful as in like I see something and I'm gonna speak about it, or if like I notice something wrong, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're not.
I'll be honest if someone asks me, but like if it involves me having to like come truthful about something for like no reason, I'm not gonna say shit. I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. But like if someone's like asking me like, oh, what do you think? I'm gonna tell you exactly how I think.
Got you. And is it like something that you have to think about if you're like does it come to your head like often where it's like, oh, I should probably say what I think in a way that might not hurt this person's feelings?
Yeah, no,
or is that like hard for you?
No, that's not hard for me because like I feel like I filter everything I say.
Okay.
Just because unless I know you, then I'm just gonna say whatever the fuck comes to my head. But other than that, like most people, I'll think about what I'm gonna say before I say it because I say a lot of stupid things.
Got you. What type of stupid things do you say?
Just like goofy shit, like I need to clip my toenails, like, and then I'll go into like whatever the fuck we were talking about, or I'll just like, I don't know, we'll talk about like, say like anime or something, and I'm like, yo, matter of fact, that girl in Jujutsu Kaisen, she was thick as fuck. Yeah, exactly. Like just
I already know you're talking about
things like that. Like, just like say whatever comes to my head, or if like I know I'm just talking to someone, I like genuinely like, all right, let me think about what the fuck I'm gonna say before like I just say like anything like I mean that's gonna make me seem like I'm retarded, but like I'm not.
Yeah. No, heard. Okay. Cool. So what made you join the military?
I had to get the fuck out of Georgia. It was the fastest thing.
Even though you're here right now.
Yeah, even though. That's the funniest part. Even I came right the fuck back. I had to get away for a little bit because I mean I was in like community college for a little bit, and then I guess I could have found like a better job, but like at the time and like the current living situation, I was getting kicked out left and right. And I was like, dude, I gotta change my life around. So I ended up just like saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna go down to these recruiters. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Damn. Okay.
Try and straighten up my life, and it did. It did. Started a path for me, so I'm happy about that.
What was the path?
Getting my shit together, like working or finding like a better job. Learning how to pay bills and shit like that, or like learning how to pay my own bills and worry about myself for a while, and like learn how to live as an adult and not like live as just some crazy ass dude is doing whatever the fuck he wants. So it helped me out. It helped me out, learning, getting my car and everything, and then learning just basically it's like learning how to be like an adult.
Gotcha.
That's what I did. It's like someone that like basically tell me how to be an adult, and then I figure it out from there. Yeah. And that's what like the military did for me.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. What would you say was your least favorite part about the military? Or parts?
Parts? There was a lot of parts I didn't like. Like the dumbass things we would do. Like, so thing is, like we would do shit that would make no sense,
Mm.
but you're doing it because you don't want to get in trouble,
Mm.
or because you're not high enough rank to like say like, hey, this is fucking retarded. So the people who are like, say like giving you things to do, but like in your head you're like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't say anything because that's just how it is. Like you just can't make it say something, but next thing you know, you're getting smoked for whatever the fuck you just said.
Dang.
So you learn real quick, I guess. Your like rank and like status is like means a lot. So just like kind of like just keep your mouth closed and just do whatever, or whenever you make up in ranks, like change things. But like main thing I didn't like is like I said, just like dumb things like that. Like they'll tell you to go do something, and you know it's like a smarter way. But if you try and say something, like I said, you get smoked for it. Just because disrespecting an NCO.
Gotcha.
But that was like the main thing I absolutely hated.
Okay, I see. What were you best at in the military?
Best at?
Yeah. Like what things were you like really good at?
I was really good at shooting. I was pretty damn good at shooting. Shooting and I guess weapons. Like I knew like ins and outs of like weapons and things, and like things that needed to be done before the end of the day. I was like good at like knowing what we gotta do before we go home.
Oh, nice.
Or in order to go home, what we gotta do before the end of the day. So other than that, mainly just like shooting. I guess I was pretty good at like practice combat, not like combat, but like practice like simulations of like if you're getting attacked, what do you do? Or if like certain situations happen, I was pretty good at like on the fly, like, oh yeah, I gotta go do this. Like that just, I don't know, just came to me like common sense.
Nice. Did you see other people struggling with those types of things?
Yeah.
Like about how much of the percentage of people would you say were struggling with it compared to you?
Depends. Like overall, probably like more than like 50% just like wouldn't understand like a lot of things. That like I just genuinely just thought it was like common sense.
Yeah.
But like I guess if you're like new, like when I got there, like say like I'm new getting second unit and they're new getting to a unit, I still understood more than like the normal person, like 70% of like the normal person. But that's a high estimate. I'm overestimating it. But basically, yeah, because like a lot of people came in and just like they didn't know anything, or like they were just genuinely just like nervous. So like things just didn't snap in their head or like make click in their head. But for me, man, I wasn't really nervous like that. So it was just like, I was able to like think clearly or in things or situations like that. Like even like NCOs or like people who are like ranked higher than me, I felt like I knew more than them. But not just because like I knew, but like things would happen and I'm like, well, I knew that. Like I knew to do this, but I guess he didn't, or he just never thought it. But,
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of that?
Let's say like we're doing like practice combat situation where like you have to like a helicopter just blew down or blew up and you have to go like rescue whoever, like surviving people. Like I knew that for us with our however many people we had, the best formation to be in whenever we post up would be like what they call like a Y. Like two people or like one person's over here, one person's over there, shaped like a Y, and then one person in the back. That way you cover like all angles, like 5. But this dummy, I guess like when things were popping off, a lot of things must have just like going on. He was trying to tell us what to do. But like when things like started popping off, he was like, "You two over here, you over here, and then we're just gonna go get them." And then I was like, "Well then, what about the area back here?" Because I'm like, no one's watching that area, but I'm like, bump it, heat of the moment. There's all these high-ranking people around. I'm just gonna do whatever he says, and then that's just gonna be that. I'm just gonna do my part. But things like that, like I knew like the Y formation would have been a lot better.
So do you feel like in like very heated situations, like you're usually like amongst like that's like your forte, like specialty.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at like keeping like a calm head and just like just doing whatever I think makes sense.
Gotcha.
And then 7 times out of 10, it was a good decision. It was a good decision. 7 times out of 10, it was a good decision.
And would you say 7 times out of 10 is like accurate, or is it like modest? Like
7
it could be an 8.5 out of 10. But I'm gonna try to be humble.
Well, I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, I guess like 8, 9. Like most of the time, in the heat of the moment, whatever decision I make is actually the best decision.
Gotcha.
Like when you look at it, but I guess a lot of people can say that. Like whenever like heat of the moment situations happen, they like made the best decision. But I guess I feel honest about myself, so I'd be modest, 7, but reality most likely like 8 out of 9.
Yeah, no. I respect that. Would you say that you're somebody who is more structured in your everyday, like naturally, like you're more of a structured type of person?
Yeah.
Or would you say that you prefer in your day to day, like to be like kind of like go with the flow, not really as structured?
I'm more structured.
Yeah.
Like I do, and actually have like a really solid system that like I don't know. I try and like get used to at first. That way, later on, I'm just like not even gonna like think about like what I gotta do or like what like my day to day should like look like.
Got it.
Like I'm like, oh well, today's laundry day. So I'm gonna do laundry.
Okay.
Or like, oh, I just got off work. I'm gonna eat and shower. And then no matter what, I'm gonna eat and shower. Things like that are like, oh well, it's almost his time, so I should probably start getting ready for her to go to bed.
Nice.
Or, oh, I gotta make sure I get gas for like the next day. That way, in the morning, I don't gotta worry about it.
True. Have you always been like that?
No.
Not even close. When did you start becoming more
structured?
Yeah.
After the army.
Okay.
After the army, I was more like in tune with myself to figure out what best helped me to get through life, and it was like a solid structure that I can follow with no thought.
Gotcha.
Or to where like it just like I can go on like autopilot. That's the goal, is to go through my days on autopilot.
Got it. Okay, cool. Would you say that you're somebody who Well, actually, I'm gonna ask this. Would you say there's someone who's good at thinking very long term, like into the future?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I guess I always look for like the future, or like look towards the future, like, oh well, I could do this to help me out in the future. But like when I talk about the future, I mean like later this year. I don't think like 3-4 years ahead. I just think like, well, this is gonna affect me in any way later on this year.
Okay, got you. I see. Okay, cool. So I know that you kind of already addressed a lot of this, but I just want to close out this section real quick. How would you what would you say are some words to describe yourself, even if other people disagreed? And if other people disagree, then clarify that. Like, well, I think that I'm this, but other people would say this. And if other people wouldn't disagree, then you can just state like, yeah, I think that I'm this, and other people would also think this too.
So what is like something that like I think about, or like words that would describe me that other people would disagree or agree?
Both. Like if they would disagree, then clarify that, well, I think this, but they would disagree. And then if they would agree with you, then you could say that, yeah.
I guess I would say I would consider myself like reliable. Like, and a lot of people would also agree with me. They're like, I'm really a reliable person.
Yeah.
And then I guess another word I would say that other people would disagree is that I'm slick, like antisocial. But like, I guess some people would disagree with that. Because, well, that's only because like they know me. Yeah. But like, they
know you, so they know that you're capping.
Yeah, they know I'd be lying. reality, like I'm generally like antisocial. Like I'm just not a big talker. Well, I guess I like talking, but like I guess I don't know what like the word would be to like I don't like talking to new people.
You don't like talking to new people.
Yeah, new people is where like I guess my brain starts getting like working weird because I'm like, but damn, now I gotta like come up with like conversations and shit like this. When in reality, like if I know the person, I can just come up with like anything to talk about because I know what you like, you know what I like, so we can have easy conversations. Versus if I don't know someone, now I gotta go through this whole process of like, damn, I gotta figure out what we like, I gotta figure out what you don't like, things like that, or figure out what to trigger words, things like that.
Do you have a tendency to like hurt people's feelings like without trying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And yeah, I get. Not a lot of the times when I talk to new people, if I get too comfortable, I'll say like some dumbass shit that like I don't think is like offensive, but like they'll be like, what the fuck? Like that's like odd to say, and I'm just like, is it?
Yeah.
And then like I'll be like, oh damn, now I think about it, really could be. But if you don't know, like I'm joking. Like, a lot of people don't know, like I'm kidding, like 10 times out of 10. Like, I'm just joking around. But I guess if I meet someone new, I'll just like try and like use like a joking manner, to, like get you to understand. Like I'm kind of just joking.
Yeah.
Half the time, but some people don't catch on.
Yeah.
And then I guess it becomes like if you don't look at it as like I'm joking. Serious.
I see. So then, do you think that that's a reason? If it's not, then let me know. But do you think that that's part of the reason why you're antisocial, or it's not connected?
Like that people don't understand, like I'm joking.
Yeah, and like you accidentally offend them a lot.
Yeah, because then I just be like, damn, kind of fuck that up, but it is what it is. Like, I guess I'll just stick to myself, kind of thing. But I guess that would have like a good deal to it, only because I just figured, long term, it's easiest not to talk to this person than to talk to this person.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you.
Less time and energy wasted.
Got you. Okay, cool. Well, how would other people describe you, even if you disagreed?
A dickhead. Like honestly,
I disagree with that.
Yeah. No, I'm a real nice guy, but
yeah,
I just don't understand why people think like I'm an asshole. It's always like confusing. Because I'm like, dude, I swear, like, I'm the nicest person.
Yeah. But what is worth, I see you as very, very kind.
Yeah, like person. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm like the coolest, most laid back, like nonchalant person. But then again, I guess like I don't know, they just think like I'm a dickhead.
Got you. What else would they say about you, even if you disagree?
That I don't care. Well, I guess that's I do not care. I don't care about people's feelings.
And you do care about people's feelings.
Yeah, I care about people's feelings.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm taking into consideration of other people's feelings, how they would feel.
Yeah.
But some people I've talked to have said that I go about things as if I don't care about their feelings.
How do you feel about that when they say that? Like, does it get to you? Or you're just like, nah?
Nah. I just be like, I mean, I guess if that's your opinion about me, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion.
For sure. I noticed that, at least so far in this session, you say, and this isn't a bad, or it's not a bad thing, it's just like a observation. You say a lot of stuff like, yeah, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Notice that this doesn't make sense. Are you good at being able to like detect when like there's incongruencies in like logic?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah. Like you're really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at because like I like to put myself in other people's shoes, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. If I was you, or if roles were reversed, that wouldn't make sense to me. But things like that, like I'm pretty good at being able to detect when I guess in my head there would be a more logical way of going about things versus in reality, when in my head it's just or in reality everything to me is just not making sense.
Got you. Okay, cool. And I'm assuming that you hate doing things that you feel don't make sense.
I feel like the military. Just seeing amount of nonsense that we would do that I just fucking hated. I'd just be that was just my personality after that.
Yeah.
We did it now that I'm out. If it doesn't make sense, I'm not doing it.
And do you tell them straight up
yeah.
Do you feel you just kind of finesse your way?
No, if it involves me, I'll tell people straight up, but that doesn't make damn sense. And I'll tell people why it doesn't make sense. But I'm pretty honest. I'm why I can't come up with a better solution. But flat out, this doesn't make sense. throw that opinion out there before we do whatever we're about to do. So let everyone know it doesn't make any sense.
Got it.
But that's just me.
Got you.
Me. I like to address. If it involves me, I like to address. It doesn't make sense. But if it doesn't involve me, I probably say shit.
Got you.
Unless I fuck with you, then I really hate it. Well, whatever you're doing right now doesn't make a lick of sense.
Heard. Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna ask you another question that I ask all of my clients, and that is, what are some things that you love to do? And when I say that you love to do, I mean that you love to do so much. Only reason why you stop is because you're absolutely exhausted. Otherwise, you've gone indefinitely because it gives you energy.
What is something I would do? The only reason why I don't do it all the time is because of my energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I go to the gym more. Working out, that would be something that I actually did love. I love working out, but only because I've been skinny my whole life, and I put on some muscle. I was damn, I look pretty damn good.
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah,
but I just after working all day, and then let alone my route, I'd be driving an hour to go deliver. I'll deliver hella shit, and then I have to drive an hour back, and then I never get back to 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I'm just dude, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
And then I go take a nap, and then I wake up, and I'm fuck it.
Yeah.
Staying home.
Yeah.
But if I had more energy, I would definitely go to the gym more.
Gotcha.
I did enjoy working out.
Yeah.
I was able to blank out for a little bit, just work out, work on yourself, and then you leave, you go home, and you feel better.
For sure. Got you. What other things do you love doing that you could just do it forever if you didn't run out of energy?
Probably game a lot more. I become more professional.
Said what?
Yeah, more professional. Try and take gaming seriously. If I had the energy for it, but.
What type of gaming do you like to do?
Video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to recent video games or you mean games?
Yeah.
I like fighting games just because it takes a little bit more skill. In fighting games, you get more into it. The better you get, you get way more into it, things like that. But fighting games has always been my favorite thing to do, just because it's can't just go out just because more strategic versus shoot 'em up games where it's well, this guy's only better than me because he had better fucking aim.
Yeah.
Yeah, versus in a fighting game, it's you lose. You're this guy just whooped my ass with this combo I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So let me learn and practice, learn to do that. It's a level above you can reach. That's what I enjoy.
Gotcha.
I enjoy competition.
Okay. Almost like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Z, Mortal Kombat, things of that nature.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. What other things do you love to do? We picked the perfect day to do this.
Yeah,
Come on, man. Jeez.
The guy outside.
I'm
The
about to
only
go
day this
outside.
week.
Yeah, come on.
To blow all the leaves.
Yeah, well, I want to go. Like, come on.
Now, but I don't know. I enjoy being around people.
Even though you're antisocial.
Yeah, even though I'm into but like, I just enjoy like just being in the mix, even if I'm like, not saying anything. I just enjoy like feeling the vibe. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of laid back. Everyone's laughing, having a good old time, telling some jokes.
Yes.
You know, I fuck with that.
Gotcha.
Let alone if I like know the group of people, well, I know I can talk, say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm like really enjoying myself.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy, just being in the mix.
Got you.
Being in the mix is not too social, but like not anti, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. And I'm just drying it out. But if you don't have anything else, let me know. Like, do you have anything else that you love doing so much?
We have I like watching UFC.
UFC.
Yep. I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching UFC, having a beer with the broskies. You know, having a nice beer with the boys. You know, all chilling, snacking on some shit. Just watching UFC, talking about it, really getting into it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I guess other than that, not much else.
Okay.
I don't know. Only thing that I really do fuck with doing.
Okay, no, that's good. That's a really healthy list. So my next question for you, how would you describe your upbringing, like childhood? How were you like as a child? What did your teachers say about you? Your parents said about you? What you remember? Stuff like that.
A lot of people, or I guess, upbringing would be, I was a very quiet person. Very, very quiet. That was something everyone told me all the time. Like, you're like, man, quiet. Like, you don't really say much. But that was just me. Even at home, the only person I would really talk to was like my younger brother. And that was it.
Yeah, I could see how that would be.
But other than that, I guess upbringing, I was just a quiet kid, real strict parents. So couldn't really I was always afraid of like messing up.
I see.
Just because of like real strict people. Like, trying to remember all the rules and everything. Like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. I'm like, damn, can't sit back and chill. That's how I got into video gaming, because it's like that's like the one thing I can't get in trouble for. So if I can sit in my room, I play my game.
Interesting.
You go outside, you get in trouble for going too far. You get in trouble for going to the wrong person's house without asking. Get in trouble for, or I guess, hanging out with the wrong people. Get in trouble for going outside without asking. I guess that's what made me a little bit more quiet. Because that only moved a lot. That only moved a lot. I don't think I've stayed at one school for more than a year.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I think I would be somewhere for a year and then we move. I'd be there for a year, then we move. Actually, no, that might be a lot. Maybe 2 years. I think I stayed at my elementary school for 2 years, and then we moved.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been like that for ever now. For damn near my whole childhood. We moved a lot.
Wow. Okay, I see. Got you. What did your teachers say about you as a student?
I was quiet.
Got you.
They said they fucked with me because I was a quiet kid.
Got you.
I didn't say shit. I didn't do shit. I just came in, did my assignments, grabbed my homework, and I went home. So a lot of my teachers liked me.
Oh, nice.
Just because I'm shit.
Were you active in class too, or like that was part of it?
That was part of the thing. I just didn't say shit. Like even like activities and everything, I just wouldn't say.
Got you. I see.
Or if we did like group projects, I'll say like the bare minimum, like what I gotta say to get through it. But other than that,
so I was already thinking that it was because of your strict parents that maybe influenced you to be more quiet when you were younger because of how nervous you were, kind of like how you are today, where it's like, oh, I don't know if I say something, then it might offend people or whatever. Yeah. Would you agree with that though, or?
Yeah, I can see that. Like just having like strict parents, or like even like at home, being like, oh, I don't want to fucking be in trouble, so I'm just gonna do this because it's like the 100% safe option to stay. I'm pretty sure that's the reason that like stay quiet because that's the easiest option to stay in trouble.
Gotcha.
Say something dumb or like do something dumb.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So when you were quiet in class, what do you like? Do you feel like you were holding yourself back in any ways, or do you feel like no, I didn't have anything to say?
Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't have shit to say.
Okay,
like,
got you.
I just didn't have like any topics I feel like anyone was interested in, or like anything that people would have wanted to talk about. So I just stayed quiet.
Got you. Okay, cool. All right. I know that you also said that you grew up as a middle child. Yeah. How was that like?
I was like, as the middle child, like the parents weren't too strict on you, but they weren't too light on you. And then I was looked as I had to be Mr. Perfect in order to be like a better role model for my younger.
Interesting. So your older siblings, is it older brother or older sister?
Yeah, older brother.
Okay. Did they have to be even more perfect than you or not really?
He didn't live with us. He was my half brother.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, we had the same dad, so whenever he would come to visit, he was my role model. And then my younger brother I was my younger brother's role model.
Just personal clarification. Is the older brother Alex?
No.
Okay, I'm bugging.
No.
Got you.
No. My older brother is my brother TJ. He's up in North Carolina.
Got you. Okay. All right. Just making sure. So your older brother didn't even live with you. So you were technically the oldest.
Well, yeah. I just like to tell people I do have an older brother.
Okay.
Just so like people know like that's technically who I based myself off of.
And that's why you had to be Mr. Perfect at the house because you were the oldest.
Because I was the oldest one in the house.
And how much younger was your younger brother?
He was 4 years younger than me.
Got you. Interesting. Yeah, my younger sister's 4 years younger than me, so I get that.
Gotta be the responsible one, no matter.
Definitely hear that. Interesting. Okay, so next up, I would love to understand, like, how would you describe your relationship with your emotions?
I'm pretty, I guess, distant from mine. Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's like that's like a weird thing to think about because I'd say I'm pretty into my emotions, but like, I don't get angry. I don't get sad. All the like emotion I really show is like, I get happy. I'm just happy to be whatever the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm never like sad or like angry about anything.
Yeah. Do you intentionally try to like keep yourself happy, or it's just that?
I would probably say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually try to keep myself happy because I don't know, like my mentality is like life's too short to be like sad or angry. Like I'm just like, why not just be like, whenever you look back at your life, you're like, you know what? I lived a happy life. Like, I was always smiling, I was having like a good time.
What about things that you can't really control, like
those
like
emotions?
things like like things that make you like angry or sad or whatever? Like how do you handle those situations? Where
I
it's
try
it's
to get
hard
over
for
myself.
you.
Like it's as soon as I realize like I'm getting irritated or I'm like mad about something, I'll just like as just like try and tell myself like we just gotta calm down. Whatever is going on, there's always a more calm situation to handle this. And I'll just like get a grip of myself and like, all right, so here's how we would do this.
Okay. Yeah. Would you say that your head leads you more or your heart leads you more?
My head. I listen to my head more.
Got you. Why would you say that?
I don't know. I feel like I think too much versus going off of like feelings. Like I go off of like my thoughts. Like, oh, like that. I should go do this because this is what makes me happy. Versus like listening to my emotions, where I'm like, I feel like I can go do this because that would make me more happy, or like I'd be happier doing that. Like in my head, I'm like, well, that don't make no fucking sense. Even for myself, I say that don't make no fucking sense.
That's good. Trust me, that's really good. So do you do that a lot? Like you call yourself out on your own BS?
Out a lot. Yeah. If you guys hear the conversations I have in my head, where I'm like, well, this don't make no fucking sense. I could be on the way to the grocery store. I can be on the way to the grocery store. I'm like, you know what? I should stop by. Or I should go to Target. I'm like, no, I should go to Target because I need socks. And I'm like, what the fuck do I need socks? Like, I can go across the street and go to Kroger right now. Like things like that. I tell myself that don't make no fucking sense. Like I'll be like on Amazon. I'm like, damn, this hoodie looks kind of dope. I'm like, oh, we got faux jackets. I could be about to click and press buy. I'm like, that don't make no sense. Why would I pay for this shit? Like, hell no.
Oh man.
Like things like that. I'll just call myself out. Like, it just don't make no fucking sense.
Got you.
Say like we're on or I'm going somewhere. Like I'm gonna go hang out with someone. I'm like, damn, I gotta be up at like 5 in the morning. It's 8 p.m. They're like 45 minutes away. If I go be there fucking 2 hours, hang out, come back home, it's another 45 minutes back. I gotta drop all this money. Get back. I'm going back inside. This make no difference. This makes no damn sense why I'm in this car right now. And then just like that, whatever plans I had, whatever I was doing, I just stop and I would go. I go to my room and I lay down. Like, yeah, that didn't make any damn sense what we was doing.
Oh wow, that's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. But that's teaching me something too. Yeah, and I can't wait to explain it at the end. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like we'll just keep on going for right now though, because I want to continue to make certain. I'm gonna try to prove myself wrong.
Yeah, prove yourself wrong.
Yeah, to see if But all right. So I feel like it's pretty obvious. Okay, give me a second I don't want to ask redundant questions either. Okay. Yeah. No, I think of that. Oh, okay. Would you say that you're more in tune with other people's emotions or your own emotions, or not really either?
I'm more in tune with my emotions. I feel like with other people, I can't really force you to feel a certain way, and I've like already come to terms with that in my head. So like other people's emotions, like whatever you're feeling, kind of just like let you go through with whatever you're going through. But like I'm by your side.
Got you. But what about like actually knowing what you're feeling? Like, are you better at knowing how somebody else feels, or are you better at knowing how you feel?
Oh, I'm better at knowing how other people feel.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm terrible at knowing how I feel. Like when I'm like say like angry or like frustrated, like in the moment I have no idea like I'm angry or like frustrated about something. Like that just goes over my head like, oh, but kind of just pissed me off. But like I don't know if like I'm actually pissed off or like I'm just saying that just because that's what normal people would feel like pissed off. Like things like that are like, oh, that makes me sad. But I'm like, but does that really make me sad? Or like, am I just feeling sad because other people feel sad?
Got you.
That's just how I think, or just that's just how my emotions have gone.
Got you. Do you ever sit down to like really deeply process your emotions, or is that like, nah, not really? And why is that?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That's just like never like come across my mind. Like, oh, you know, we should really like sit down with like ourselves and like really think like, how do we feel? You know, like let's like listen to our heart.
Let's listen to our heart.
Listen to our heart. Nah, that's what Dad be telling me. Like, let's listen to our heart. I'm like, for what though? I'm like, our brain's working.
There you go. There you go.
I'm like, as long as my brain's working, like, fuck what my heart feels. We'll deal with that when the time comes.
Got you. So, would you say that you're someone who is usually tracking almost like the coding of what your thoughts are and like what your beliefs are, and then kind of like almost like trying to find a way like principles or false accurate information or whatever like that? Like, do you feel like you're constantly like being like, and picking those out and throwing them out? Or
no, I feel like I've done that.
Oh,
so like I feel like with like my mindset right now, I've told myself like this is the mindset I keep forever. Like, or I don't know. I just always felt like this is the mindset that we're working with. You know, this has gotten us this far. You know, fuck with this mindset. So like, you know, we're in tune with ourselves. We know how we enjoy acting and how we enjoy talking to people. We know what we enjoy doing. So as long as we, you know, keep all that in mind, fuck everything else.
Okay.
So that's just how I've always thought. Like, I'm cool with like myself.
Okay.
I've had like a long, stuff, but I've had like a long life. So like, or for me, it was long as fuck. I'm only like 24, but for me, it was long as fuck. So, you know, I think over time, I've like talked to myself and I tell myself, you know, this is us. Like, no matter what, this is us. This is how we enjoy being. Yeah. And we're just gonna stick to that no matter what.
Got you.
And that's my mindset. It's like all like the, you know, figuring out like the coding or like ideas or anything of like change or anything of that. I've always said, nah, fuck that. That don't make no sense.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So let's talk about your relationship with your body. I know it's gonna sound a little bit awkward, but how would you describe your relationship with your body? Like, are you really in tune with it and like aware, or is it like I'm not very much in tune with my body? I don't know, like what's going on. Like,
I'm pretty in tune with my body. Like, I know when my body needs to function. I know when my body's, you know, aching, or like I know when my body's like off. I know when my body's off for sure, and then I also know when my body's like healthy.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm pretty in tune with like my body as like, oh, like I know when something's up. Yeah. I know when like, or what would cause certain things to happen to my body. I'm like, oh, well, this happened because of this, because that, you know, that's the only thing that's like changed with my body.
Gotcha.
Is like implementing something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Like, say like I break out in like hives. I'm like, oh, it's because I didn't take my medicine today. Like things like that are like, I don't know, like my head's really itchy. I'm like, well, obviously I'm thinking about something too much. So that's the only reason why like my body or like my head's itching right now.
Got you.
Okay. Like, things like that.
Okay, cool. Would you say in that same vein, are you somebody who's usually aware of your surroundings, or are you like kind of like, no, I don't be seeing what's going on around me?
No, I definitely am very aware of like my surroundings. Like anywhere I go, I'm always like aware of like what's going on. Like, yeah, basically, I guess I don't know where I was about to go with that, but yeah, I'm always like aware of like what's going on wherever I go. If I go to like fill up gas, I don't even know if it's just me or just a person thing, but like I'll look around and like see like what's going on, and then in my head, I'm always like planning like an escape route.
Yeah,
but that's just me. I'm like, well, some shit pops off this way, I'm gonna go this way, or some shit pops up this way, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go do this after. You know, it's like things like that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like,
I do that too.
Yeah,
you probably do it way more than I do.
We probably do it about the same. You know, like I'll go to the kitchen. I'm like, 3 ninjas break into the house right now.
No, you do it way more than I do.
Like I'm making dinner. I'm like, if I'm flipping these patties, and a ninja just breaks in my house with a ninja star, do I just take the pan and I throw it in, and I'm like run out the door, or like am I just gonna stop and freeze, and am I like gonna like fucking go Terminator more, like rush the ninja, or like like things like that? I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do.
You think you can take on a ninja?
Hell no.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, that don't make no damn sense for me to take on this ninja. But like, in my head, I'm just like going through like escape routes, like things that like are like what ifs. Like, I don't know. This is fun.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. No, I definitely do similar things. Like I'll be in the movie theater, and as I'm chilling in the movie theater and stuff, then I'm like, all right, like this is kind of dark, but you know, like if somebody starts like shooting like, randomly, like all right, this is the exit route. I already know people are gonna start panicking, so unfortunately, I can't save all of them. I just have to make sure the people that I'm with, like we have to get down, make sure that they're not panicking. Let the panicking people also not get in our way. Maneuvering this way, we got to get up out. Keep an eye on the shooter. This is the person who's going to go first, whatever. So I'll be keeping stuff like that in mind. If somebody breaks into the house, like, all right, this is what I have to do. I got the pillow right over here. Block whatever is happening. Toss it at him as I'm like running this way.
Yeah, so everything is the same thing. Like, same thing, like I'll be at like Wendy's or something, or like say like I'm out at dinner and I like walk in, I'm like, all right, so this is the exit, that's the entrance. Like another exit over there, there's some windows you can smash right here. I'm like, there's a kitchen right there that you can run back into and hide or do whatever. And I'm just like, you know, just like things like that. Like, just being aware of like what could possibly go wrong, what I could do to make it out of here. Copy.
Cool. Okay. Would you say that you're somebody who usually takes things like more literally, or are you someone who like speaks in a lot of like metaphor, abstract language, parables, stuff like that?
I speak metaphorically a lot, but when someone's telling me something, I'll take it too literal. Like it'll just go over my head. Like I don't know. I guess I'm good at telling jokes, but like understanding their joke is just where like I get confused.
Yeah. And how do you feel about deep, abstract, conceptual, philosophical types of conversations? Like, what are your threshold for those?
Like just deep, like mind conversations.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for me, I don't know. Like deep conversations, I always like understand where they're coming from. But like, thing is, at the end of the conversation, I always just think like, well, they don't understand where I'm coming from.
Got it.
Just because that's just how I just think.
Okay. Yeah. What about like very conceptual, philosophical, and abstract topics? Like what's your threshold for stuff like that? Like, are you somebody who, like, when it comes to those types of conversations, are you someone who's like leading the conversation? Are you the person who's kind of like listening and then asking questions here and there and like kind of like engaged in it? Are you the person who's like listening and you understand everything but you're not participating? Or are you the person who's just kind of like, this stuff is not real. We don't really like. Why are we talking about this philosophy and blah blah blah? Like, can we just go do something?
I'm more of the person just following along. Like I'm not really, unless I'm on shrooms. whatever we're talking about, I'm into it. But like sober or anything, I'm more just like following along, like trying to understand what they're getting at, and like trying to understand their mindset or their mind process, and then just going from there.
Got you. I do remember when you talked about shrooms at one point. I remember that, and in case if this is going on my channel, then my subscribers have no idea about this, but there was, me and my friend had done it, and we were telling you about like our experience. It was my second time, and I remember you were telling me like, yeah, like next time y'all should just like chill, like, your experiences and stuff like that, like
my experiences.
Yeah, and so
that was my like, that was something that like whenever I did that, I'm like, I found this more fun for me to just go with the flow and just like chill and just like enjoy it.
Got you.
Versus like you said, like other people, which I understand, like other people, they more want something out of it. Like they want to like get it's like deep thoughts and like deep topics to like find out more about like themselves.
Yeah, and why do you feel like that's not something that you wanted to do when you were on the shrooms before?
Well, like when I first started, yeah, that was fun. Like becoming more in tune with myself, and like over time, I just became more in tune with myself just naturally. So like I just felt like, well, I've already discovered myself. I've already went on like that spiritual journey, and this is like what I've led to and like how I enjoy being just me. Like no matter what, just being me, regardless of like the situation. So I guess I just find it like if I'm gonna do like shrooms or whatever, let's go do it. Just have some fun.
Yeah,
that was my personality. Like I just enjoy having fun.
So you said that you had spiritual experience and stuff before. What did that do for you? Like what happened and what led you there? Like how did that lasting?
I remember it was actually when I did. That was the last time I did like LSD and tried to go on like a deep journey. Because we like did LSD with some friends, and then like I was like, all right, I'm going like a spiritual journey. Everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna go on like going into it, psyching your mind out that you're gonna go on a spiritual journey. And then like the whole time I remember I was like laying there looking at the stars. I'm like, damn, what all am I gonna do with my life? I'm like, how do I like? Am I cool with like how I am now, or like, do I want to change anything? Do I want to, become better at anything? I remember just like telling myself like, yeah, there's a few things we want to change. Like we want to be more sociable. We want to be more, relaxed, be more responsible. Not do too much reckless shit just because we're young, and be more, be keys. Like we don't want to be, we don't want to be the eldest child no more, or like in the house. We want to be you, and that's when like I was like, that's a damn good conversation with myself. And after that, I was like, I think I learned a few things last night. And I was like, I'm just gonna change myself, and I'm just gonna be more me, or like do whatever like that seems like, or like whatever I want to do.
And that's worked so far?
Yeah, it's worked so far.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. How long ago was that?
2018.
Okay.
I joined the army next year.
Oh, so that was even before the army.
Yeah, it was before the army. Because that was when I decided to, do better to better myself. And then the army helped me actually do better for myself. And like help me or show me the way how to do better for myself.
Got you.
So now I'm here.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. Respect.
Yeah.
So was that like the one time that you needed to be like, all right, I'm spiritually connected now. Any other time that I do shrooms or LSD or whatever, like I just want to like mess around and play, or that was like
that was the only time I just told myself, we'll try this like deep like thought thing. We'll try the deep thought thing, and I tried it. It really helped me, but I was like, I think after that one time, like I don't know, I was like, I think I found what like a lot of people, tries multiple times to find like how to better themselves, and I was like, just figured out how to better myself, just be more me. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. And I was like, as long as I'm okay with nothing wrong with me, I'm like, fuck what everybody else thinks.
Nice. Got you. Okay, no, respect. Would you say that okay, well, I guess on that same topic, just because it was fresh, I remember that at the wedding this past weekend, you were telling me and Jamila that out of everyone, like, in the household and all of that, you're like, those two definitely be smoking. And like, I just, no, we weren't offended at all. It was interesting. But could you rehash like what that was and like what made you think that and etc.?
It was just like how like laid back y'all were. Like when I meet people, I just see like everyone's energies. Even though it's weird to say, but like that's just me. Like I go see how everyone's energy is. I'm like, y'all had like real like laid back stoner vibes, and I was like, y'all they gotta smoke. Cause I'm like, y'all was like conversations would be like, I think I heard one conversation about like space, or y'all were talking about something that like I was like, there's no way y'all could be sober talking about. High as a kite right now. And I'm like, that's like some high talk right there. Or like it was like some what if like this happened, and I'm like, no, they gotta be geeking over there. I'm like, there's no way they're not geeking.
And how do you feel about like what if conversations when you're sober?
What if? I mean, I always feel like it sounds better, or it would click more in my head when I'm high. Like the what if conversations would be more interesting when I'm geeking.
Gotcha.
Like when I'm sober, it's more like I just think too much. Like I'm like, well, how the fuck would that make any sense?
Gotcha.
If this was to happen because of this.
Gotcha.
But I always thought that was funny because I was like, because I remember, like I said, I told Zach one time, because Zach thought the same thing. He was like, yo, do they smoke? And I'm like, like, you were like, you sure they don't smoke? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I'm like, I swear to God, they seem like they're high. At least a lot of the time. Like, they're geeking.
Gotcha.
He's like, they have like real stoner like personalities. I'm like, that's what I thought.
Man, no, that's hilarious. And you wouldn't say that you're the same way?
Like, I would seem more, or that
like I guess
that I would seem like I'm geeking all the time.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you are, and I'm not saying that you aren't. I'm just trying to see like, where would you say that you're similar, and where would you say that you contrast?
I'm similar in like the laid back, like that real like stoner laid back mentality where like nothing really phases you. You're just like enjoying your day. Yeah. Like you're just enjoying your time.
Yeah.
That's where I would have like the similarity. Mm-hmm. But like, so y'all are able to like have like deep conversations sober? I mean, I can, but like, if you want to get like my real opinion, like my real thoughts, I gotta be high. Like those what if conversations. Gotcha. Like, I can really get into it because then like I start thinking about like, well, Goku can beat Saitama because this motherfucker from space and Saitama from Earth. Nice. Like some shit like that. Like it only like helps me loosen up or like really take it seriously when I'm.
Got you. Okay, cool. We're almost done, by the way. What would you say are some of the biggest insights that you've like had? Like, so like, I guess an example that you just gave, like, okay, like when I'm high, like these are the types of thoughts that I've had. Like, what would you say is like maybe one of the two like most profound, like life-changing insights that you've like contemplated, or deep things that you've like contemplated philosophically?
Like just overall.
Yeah,
I guess
if you remember.
Oh, while I was high.
Yeah, or just, or just in general.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
I think when I was. Oh, this back.
Yeah, just gonna say hi real quick.
Hello. Are you doing your interview? Yes, I am.
So what were you saying?
I would probably say. Oh, okay. No, you're fine. I would probably say like when I was in the military, like just being there, or like in basic, you know, in basic you have like all this time, like, not yourself, but like you have all this like shit going on, and all this stress and everything, and like you really can like take the time and like look at yourself. And I remember like I looked at myself again. I was like, well, this is obviously shitty right now, but I'm pretty sure my brother's eyes, my younger brother's eyes, this is like a big step. So I'm like, I enjoy showing that like big step that like for me and him we're like kind of like the same, like personality and everything. So I'm like, I want to show him that since I can do it, you can do it too. Wow. Because we, like I said, we want like the same everything. So I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. It's kind of like mentality. After that, I was like, well, that's how I'm going to go about things. Like, if I can do it, I can show my brother that I can do it, so he can do it as well. Wow. As long as he really puts his mind to it.
Oh, man. Again, respect. Seriously. That's what's up. I respect that.
I love my little brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say are some things that are very obvious to you, but don't seem to be very obvious to other people?
9 times out of 10, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Why did you say 9 times out of 10? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just going off the top of the dome.
I remember you told me at the wedding that, and you just came out of nowhere and said, like, yeah, I just be winging stuff, and it just works. Yeah. I just wing my whole life.
Yeah, literally.
Tell me more about that?
Literally, like, I just wing it. Like, finding a job, I'll spend like a day trying to find a job, and I find one, and I'm like, well, fuck it, found a job. Or like, I look for a job that like suits me, that like obviously is something like I like couldn't see myself doing. I'm like, that fucking works. Or like in the military, like say like we're doing live fire shooting. Yeah. I won't even like pay attention at all to like anything going on. I'll just be like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna go off whatever the fuck I just thought of, or like whatever the fuck I saw them do, I'm just gonna go do that. And like shit like that, like we'll just wing it. That's just like my mentality, like we'll wing it. Like say like even though I don't recommend drinking and driving. I do that. But say like I've had one too many, or not one too many, say like I've had a few drinks. Like I know my limit where I'm like, what? Where I'm we can make it there. And where I'm like, all right, we're good. I've had one too many instances where I'm like, he can make it. Where I'm like, technically, I should just give the key to someone else. Where I'm like, you know what? We're gonna wing it because this guy's more drunk than me. This guy's more drunk than me. So I'm wing it. I'm like things like that. I'll just wing it. Or like, I don't know, fucking I'll go what's another good example? Say like I make a random date with a shorty. Yeah. And I'm like, I have no idea any of the past conversations we had. Yeah. Because I completely forgot. Like, I'm just going now. So I'm just like, fuck it, we're just gonna wing it. Or like say like Or like, say I'll tell her shorty like, hey, I'm gonna plan everything for the date. I'm just gonna come pick you up. And she agrees, and I'll just say like a random time, and she agrees at this time, and I'm like, damn, I didn't really think this one through. So now I'm gonna go pick her up, and I'm just gonna fucking wing it.
She has no idea that
she has no idea.
How does it usually go?
It goes pretty fucking good. She says every time, or most of the 9 times out of 10, they're like, that was actually a pretty fun date. Like, you know, I'm pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you really thought this through? And I'm like, yeah. Like I said, I have honesty, so I tell them at the end, I tell them at the end when it's over. I'm like, yeah, to be honest, I didn't plan any of this shit. And they're like, you didn't play Dennis? I'm like, nah, I don't even know what. Gotcha. They'd be like, you had 2 months to plan. I love shit like this. Indeed, I did.
Do they usually respond well to that, or are they?
No, they're like, you motherfuckers. They're like, how the fuck do you like put all this together? Fucking idea.
I'm telling you, like, it's a superpower.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I just wung it. It worked. We're here now. But
nice. So, what are some things then that like you always like are like? How am I the first one to see this? Or like, how am I like noticing this? Or like, how do I know this, but nobody else doesn't know this like around me? Like, how are other people not noticing this? How are they not seeing this?
Pretty sure it's played off pretty well. I think I've come to realization of that like, I don't know, I play like things off. Like, I'm just like that normal person.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, like, but in general, like just things in general, like that you're just like, oh, I know. Like, how are people not noticing XYZ, or like what would that thing be? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's because I usually just consider everyone different, and that I'm different, everyone else is different, like no one's the same. So like, I'm just like, well, they probably didn't notice it because of whatever, and I'm just like an overthinker. Like, I'm just thinking too much. Or like, this is where like I was raised like this, so it's why I had noticed this. They were raised like this, so they probably didn't notice. You know? Things like that. Like, it's I always have like a reason for why, like, wow, I noticed something first. Well, I'm like, oh, it's because of this, or oh, it's because I was looking this way and they were looking that way.
Got you. Okay, cool. And what are some things that are very obvious to other people, but tend to go over your head? Like
common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Like, what would you consider common sense?
Common sense would be like, what's a good example? Like, I'm trying to think of a good example, because there's like a lot of instances, but like, for me, I just realized it was like common sense. Like, for me, I'm trying to think of like an exact example. A little hard. Oh, for like me, you know, when I had my when I had twists in my hair,
yeah,
I didn't know you weren't supposed to wash your hair. But for a lot of people, apparently that was common fucking sense.
Okay.
But I thought like you could still like wet your hair or whatever and shampoo it. No, fuck to that.
Yeah.
Not like that. Or for males, you're supposed to loop your belt left to right. I always thought it was right to left. So, like I said, it's like things like that. Like I know it was like common sense.
Got you.
You're supposed to put your left shoe on before the right. Like, I didn't know that either.
Got you. Okay. I don't think I knew that. Put your left shoe on for your right. Like, but why? Do you know why?
I didn't question it.
Got you. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I think that we're about done. Just make sure. I can't believe that they're doing this.
Yeah, they've been doing this. Like, I watched it as soon as we're done.
It's been like
I bet you as soon as we're done, they're gonna stop. As soon as we're done here, I bet you they look like a song. Just be like, these motherfuckers.
That's why. I really don't understand.
Yeah, they chose to one day or one time.
Yeah, like I've been tempted like several times, but hey, when are you gonna be done?
You gonna stop anytime soon?
Yeah, like I just want to know so that
just
so I know.
Yeah,
because it don't take that long to blow leaves.
Nah, especially into like a pile or out the driveway when it's just gonna be like this tomorrow.
Right.
It's gonna be back, it's gonna be right back on the ground.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, that make no sense. I just put you on today. Don't make no sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. Okay, so like I said, there are 16 different types, and the interesting thing about this is that with the 16 different types, it's broken down into 4 dichotomies. So this is about to get like pretty complicated, but I'm explaining like really simply. If you have any questions at all, let me know. So to make it simple, first, your personality type, as I previously guessed, is a type that we call ESTP. All right. So you have absolutely no idea what those letters probably are. Acronyms. So we'll put it like this. So E, like if we're putting it in a dichotomy way, then we have the E versus I, then we have N versus S, and then we have T versus F, and then we have P versus J. So the E versus I is extrovert versus introvert, right? Most people think that extroversion means that, oh, I am very energetic and loud, and I'm never shy, I'm never quiet, and I prefer dogs, and I'm annoying, and, you know, I'm all like, you know, just hyper, and I get energy from being around people. And then people also think that introversion is, I'm very quiet, I'm intellectual, I'm to myself, I prefer cats, I like to just read my books, I'm pretty shy, except for when you get to know me, then I become alive, and, you know, I'm not annoying to people, and I get energy from only being alone, whatever. But that's not the case. Extroversion and introversion is actually more about where do you direct your energy. So introverts direct their energy more into their internal world. Extroverts extrovert their energy more into the external world. And so they focus their energy more on the external world of like experiences, which is what you do. And we're going to get more into that, or relationships with people, or projects, or even like ideas. Whereas introverts, they introvert to themselves, like they focus more on their internal world. So they focus more on like their philosophical ideas and concepts of the world, or their experiences of the world, and like cataloging that, or their opinions of the world, or even their values and their like their core emotions and stuff of that nature. But everybody should know that everybody's an extrovert and everybody's also an introvert. There's like everybody's an extrovert, everybody's an introvert, everybody has an intuitive side, everybody has a sensing side, everybody has a thinking side, everybody has a feeler side, and everybody even has like a little bit of perceiver and judger in them. So you're like, because we're humans and we're a mix of all of these, but it's more of like right hand versus left hand. Like
which one do you tend to, or which one are you just like naturally pulling towards?
Precisely. So with you, that E, I believe that you're more of an extrovert rather than an introvert, even though you're antisocial, and we'll explain why in a moment. And then when it comes to the second letter, the S, so S versus N. So intuitive people are people who are very much kind of like, I guess what you would call like stoner type of people. They're always talking about like philosophical, conceptual, intellectual types of things. And they're always like focused on the patterns of things and like trying to peer behind the curtain of what could be and what ifs, potentials, what's going to happen in the future, etc. kind of like Black Mirror. Like, have you ever seen like Black Mirror?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. That's like very conceptual and stuff like that, philosophical, whatever. Censors are people who usually tend to rely on information that's concrete, that's factual, that's reliable, that's consistent, that you can just clearly see, like literally. And they don't really prefer, not that they can't, but they don't really prefer to be peering behind the curtain as much and talking about the what ifs that much, unless if, like you, like maybe they're on psychedelics or something, then it's like, all right, now it's more entertaining to go down here, and stuff like that. But that's not a muscle that they might practice or use as much. So I would say that you're more of a sensor type over intuitive. Would you agree with that so far?
Yeah, I can definitely see myself more as I like facts.
Yeah. And then we have T versus F. T stands for thinker. F stands for feeler. So T, thinkers are people who make decisions based off of what makes sense, what's logical, what is the most objective way of like going about this, what's going to get the job done, impersonal data, etc. Whereas feelers make decisions based off of, okay, how is everyone going to be impacted by this emotionally? How am I going to feel about this emotionally? What are my core values in all of this, etc. I think that you're good at both, and we're going to explain why. But I do think that you prefer the thinking over feeling. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely prefer actually, thinking about something versus, feeling it out.
Yeah, definitely get that with you. And then lastly, we have P versus J. So judges are the types of people who like all of their ducks in a row. They're naturally like this. They didn't go to the military to like do it. Because there's some people who are already judges and then they go to the military and they just become like more,
more
structured.
Like
yeah. Whereas like perceivers, they tend to be more go with the flow. They tend to be more spontaneous, improvisational. These are the people who also are like, yeah, I'm gonna just wing it, like wing it through life. Perceivers are always pretty much like winging life. Whereas like judges are like, okay, I have to have this one. Blah, blah. Again, everybody has both. And as you get older, then you're supposed to be gaining more of like all of these. More extroverted people become more introverted people become more extroverted. If they're growing healthily, more sensing people become more intuitive people become more sensing, more thinker people become more feeling become more thinker, because you're trying to balance out pretty much. But I think that your natural tendency is perceiver based off of like what we talked about. So that's where the P comes from.
I could.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I could definitely see myself as definitely a perceiver.
Awesome. So that makes your type ESTP. And this is usually what most people like when they learn about this system, 16 personalities. It's called the Myers-Briggs. But it's literally only the scrape of the iceberg, like the tip of the iceberg, really. And there's so much more to it. So that's where this comes in. So you as an ESTP, wow, there you go. This would be a pretty much mapping of your mind, right? So the way that goes is, the way that I like to see it is that this is only your 4-letter code, like ESTP, right? But from there, have you ever seen the movie like Inside Out? With like the 4 characters in the person's like mind, or like the emotions in the person's mind.
Oh yeah, no, I did see like a little bit of that movie.
Got you.
Yeah, no, I've seen like a little bit of that movie.
Okay, was it like not interesting, or you just were like,
I think I was watching it on TikTok.
Got you. Okay. Got
you. I don't ever like seen like the actual movie, but I think I was like watching something on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, this movie looks kind of cool.
We should probably watch that sometime.
The Inside Out.
If you're interested. You feel like you're interested?
Yeah.
If you're not, let me know.
I'm pretty interested in that. I could definitely watch it.
Okay.
I'm down to watch a lot of things.
Okay, cool. Well, just always let me know if you're not trying to watch it, because we can always find something that we both intersect with. But I think that you might actually appreciate the movie. But yeah, this is pretty much kind of like that. So every personality type, so there's 8 superpowers, right? I like to call them superpowers, but their real name is called cognitive functions. There's 8 of them in total, and they're each like coins. So this cognitive function is called extroverted sensing. The nickname for it that Personality Hacker gave it is sensation. The flip side coin of it is introverted intuition, also known as NI. The nickname for it is perspectives. And then this is a coin with this. So introverted thinking, also known as TI. the nickname for it is accuracy. And then extroverted feeling, also known as FE, the nickname for it is harmony. We're going to refer to them by their nicknames for now until, maybe like one day if you are interested more, then you could probably learn like more of like the SETI, whatever. But if not, then it's like, oh, well, you have a recording of the video just to like, oh, what was that thing again? And you can just go back to it. But essentially, this is your strongest function as your driver, then your second strongest function, then your third strongest function, and then the function that you're most uncertain with, and you can go either way with. That doesn't mean that you're going to be like super bad at it, but you're not also going to be like super, super good at it either. And so, like I said, they're two sides of the same coin. So with the first one, extroverted sensing as your dominant or your driver function, this function is pretty much all about being in the moment. It's all about being aware of what you're seeing. It's all about like understanding like, okay, if this happens, like this is how I respond, like being very quickly like responsive, being in tune with your body. It's often tapped into like style and aesthetics, sports. It's the part of you that was like, yeah, no, again, like I'm really good at like responding and like seeing things literally. Extroverted sensing looks at things and it's just like, oh, this is just what it is. Whereas the flip side coin of it, introverted intuition, which we're going to talk about, is the opposite. So if extroverted sensing is all about being completely in the moment and seeing things for what they are, like taking things literally, not thinking too deep about it, taking action, introverted intuition or perspectives is all about like getting into another person's mind and, okay, well, how does this, like what are all of the different ways that we can interpret this? Not seeing things literally, reading deep into it, thinking long term to the point where they don't even know how to respond in the moment to things. And really just like getting deeper and more philosophical, because it's not really like seeing things for what it is, like in a literal sense. But like I said, we'll get there. So with your extroverted sensing, because that's your driver or your dominant function, then this is the part of you that's always like, yeah, I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna just like, like I just see things like literally, and that's just like what it is. This is the part of you that likes to like take risks, like when it comes to like, even like with your body. This is a part of you that loves being in the gym. It's like, oh, I like to like work out and like I like to like feel like being in my body and stuff like that. This is the part of you that's very like laid back. Like, okay, I see like what's going on in that way. People who have this as a driver function, like the higher up that you have this, the more aware of your surroundings that you are. So you have this as a driver function, and so you're actually like there's only one more type that has it also as a driver function, and so they're called ESFP. And you guys see everything that's happening around you. Like, so like how you said that, I don't know if it's just a me thing or if other people do this, but like when I go over to the gas station, like I'm like looking around, like, just like, and there's some people who learn to do this because they're like protective now, and it's like, especially as like women and everything, but there's also people who just like naturally everywhere they go, they're like surveying stuff. And they're like seeing like, no, I caught that. Whereas like there's other people, like somebody who might have introverted intuition or perspectives as their driver. That means that their 3-year-old would be sensation or extroverted sensing. So that means that they would not be.
They wouldn't look around, or like they wouldn't be like aware. They kind of just be like looking off at something. Yes, exactly. They're off in their own head and they're philosophizing about a lot of stuff to the point where like they miss. Oh shoot, my gas is done. Or like they're always getting like snapped out of stuff and everything. And that's not to say that people of your type never daydream, but like these like people who have the introverted intuition like higher up, like they're just always like in some kind of like realm in some type of way. They're always like thinking about stuff. Like if you remember Armin from Attack on Titan? Yeah. He had introverted intuition as a driver function. It was more that for him, like when he would see something going on, then he was really thinking a lot, like, and he was like overthinking, or like he was trying to think of like the best path forward. Whereas like Aaron, he's the one who noticed a lot of what was going on in general, and then he would respond quickly. So that's kind of like also the difference. Like, okay, I'm winging it because I have extroverted sensing as a dominant function, whereas introverted intuition as a dominant function is not winging it. So the lower down that you have this, the less that you're winging it. I mean, the lower down that you have introverted intuition, then the more that you're comfortable winging stuff.
because people who have this higher, they have extroverted sensing lower. So then it's harder for them.
It's harder for them to wing it because they have to, or they focus on one thing.
Yeah, there you go.
They focus on one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just winging it where you're just like, well, I noticed everything going on, so I'm going to go.
Exactly.
I'm going to do this now.
Exactly. So yeah, since we're already talking about introverted intuition, we'll just go to that. So like I said, these are like coins. It's like these always come together with every type that has this. So if you find another type, so like there's 16 types in total, like I said, 8 of them have this coin, and 8 of them have this coin, this other coin. So if you have extroverted sensing anywhere in some type stack, then you also have introverted intuition in the stack.
Yeah,
it's just depending on like where it might be. Like for example, my personality type actually, we actually have the exact same processes, but as you can see, my sensation is actually third.
It's the third strongest.
Yeah, and then my second strongest is actually the one that's your weakest. Mm-hmm. So like I'm a little bit more similar to Armin, where it's like, okay, I have to like think these things through. I'm like, this is why you see me as like, always like philosophizing and stuff like that. And then when you look at Jamila, she's an ISFP. She has this in common with us as well, but this she does not have in common. That's a whole different coin. Like she has introverted feeling, whereas we have extroverted feeling. She has extroverted thinking, whereas we have introverted thinking. So this is a lot of information, but also because of the type that you are, I feel like you'd be able to like handle it a little bit, and and it makes it easier to like if you actually like know the people, because then you're starting to like you're gonna start patterning like, oh, I see what this is. Yeah, but we won't get too deep into that right now, but
like you see like, oh, I see that now.
Like, exactly.
I noticed that.
Exactly. Yeah. So like with me and you see how like it's the same processes,
just in different strengths.
Different strengths and everything. It's like my accuracy function, which we're now about to talk about in a minute, is my last one. So that part of you that's always like, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That's the part that I like had to really work on.
Noticing bullshit.
Exactly. Whereas like for you, like that came very easily. So that accuracy or introverted thinking, that's your secondary process. So with that said, that like introverted thinking is pretty much all about being tapped into your own logical thoughts, being aware of like what your opinion is, regardless of what anybody else thinks. So this is the part of you that honestly gets you into trouble sometimes because it's like, yo, I don't really care what anybody else thinks. Yeah. This is what I think. And this is like, a lot of people who usually have this like higher up, they're the types of people that like get canceled at times.
They don't care what people think.
Yeah, or sometimes it's not even that they don't care what people think. Like, you know how you said that people call you a dickhead?
Yeah.
It's because of this. This is the function that usually people end up calling, like you get called being a dick for. Mm-hmm. If you have accuracy in your top 2, then it's usually like, oh, you're such a dick. Because the opposite flip side coin of accuracy is harmony. So harmony is all about, oh, how's everybody feeling about what I'm about to say or about what other people are saying? It's all about relationships. It's all about interpersonal dynamics. It's all about the social norms. It's all about social customs, like how we're all influencing each other, like emotionally. How can we keep the vibe going well? Mm. This doesn't mean that you don't care about the vibe, but you're in your best when you're in your co-pilot function. Now, we have a tendency to do what Personality Hacker calls a loop. So when we're looping, that means that we're skipping our co-pilot and we're going straight to our 10-year-old. Our driver and our 10-year-old function, they're now like actually like engaging with each other, and they're kicking out the co-pilot from the conversation. So what ends up happening with this, with like an ESTP such as yourself, would be somebody who's always saying yes to things. Yeah, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just say it. Yeah, let's just do it. Like as soon as people, oh, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I want to be part of the group, so I'm gonna just do whatever we're doing, even though without asking myself, wait, does it make sense that I'm actually going to do this? Like for example, when you were gonna drive over to your friend's house for like 45 minutes, whatever, like that. If you didn't consult with accuracy, harmony, and sensation's always saying, just go, don't think about it, just go. And harmony is like, yeah, how will he feel? How will they feel? Like, whatever. But accuracy is like, wait a minute, boss. Let's make sure this makes sense.
Let's think about this real quick.
Yeah. And even though perspectives is the one that's thinking long term, you don't have to be as strong with perspectives because you have the accuracy. So even though you're not really like thinking like long term, if you're able to make sense of this moment, then you're going to be making if you're making the right decision now, and then the next moment you make another right decision, eventually it leads to the right path.
Yeah.
Whereas like for people who have perspectives up higher, so kind of like someone like me, it's like my accuracy function is the last one. So that, does this make sense? Does that make sense kind of thing? It works now. But like when I was like younger, that wasn't really like the case. And so instead of like thinking, does this make sense? Does that make sense? Etc. It was more like, okay, what is the long-term implications? I don't really know if this makes sense or if this doesn't make sense, but what's going to happen down the line? Like, and I do that Armin thing where it's okay, this is going to happen. How are the dominoes going to fall? And I'm like, oh, okay. Now that I've seen how all the dominoes are going to fall, now I have access to my 3-year-old. Like, actually, that doesn't make sense to do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you think it out first, and then you're like, well, now that I've fully laid out the plan, it's not really clicking. Or it's
exactly. It
doesn't really logically make sense to do that.
Exactly. Whereas like you're kind of the reverse, where it's like, okay, you're like, oh, this doesn't make sense because XYZ, boom, 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 boom. And then that kind of leads you on to like what the rest of the plan might be.
Yeah, the long-term thing where it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would, I understand now.
Yeah, for sure. And so this is also, again, like why I think that you were considered to be like a quiet child. So it'd be easy for somebody to be like, oh, well, since he was a quiet child, then he had to be an introvert, right? And it's like, once again, not really. Sensation doesn't have to do anything with talking to people. Sensation, remember how you said, like, I just like to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Sensation is just about, I just need to be in the moment. Yeah, like, I just want to be chilling. Like, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is an ESTP as well. Oh. And so for him, if you watch like Sonic X and stuff like that, like for him, he doesn't talk like too much, Well, in the recent movies, honestly, they did something. They changed his personality type in that movie.
Yeah, I knew that imposter.
Yeah, I'm glad that you noticed that because bro, I watched that. I was like, bro, why did they change him to some different,
some goofy goober?
Yeah, I hate that. ESTPs are usually like you're kind of goofy and everything like that too, but they're usually like the laid back, cool dudes that I'm just chilling, whatever, like that.
Having a good old time.
Exactly. And so with Sonic, he's not in Sonic X at least. He wasn't like a talker. Like he was more like he was always just caught like relaxing. He liked to be also in the mix, but then his sensation was still driver. He was always on the go. He was always like trying to get somewhere. He would jump into something. Exactly. So extroversion isn't always about like how talkative you are and all of that. And one of the reasons why you didn't talk that much was not only because sensation doesn't have to do with talking, it's more about experiencing, but also your accuracy was like, man, if I say anything, it's going to disrupt the harmony.
Yeah.
Everything that I say, dang, I've gotten so much messaging that every single time I say anything, accuracy comes out, then harmony is like, my parents are like, teachers are like, whatever it might be. Yeah. And then now I'm getting called a dickhead, stuff like that, whatever. So like I actually profiled me and Julia's cousin. He's an ISTP, so his accuracy is his driver function. So that means that all he's doing is going with it. And there's a scene where like in the actual like session, he was talking about like how like I was like, because by this point I already like knew like kind of like what his type was and everything, and then and that he had like accuracy in his stack. And so I asked him for an example, like, do you have an example of like times that maybe like you've hurt somebody's like feelings or whatever like that? He's oh yeah. And he was like, some woman, she came to me at work and she was like, hey, so do you notice anything new about me? And I said no. And then she was like, really? Like, you haven't noticed like anything? And he's like looking at her and he's like, no, because accuracy, like just like how you were saying earlier, I want to be honest with the person. I want to be like direct.
Want to be accurate.
Yeah, exactly. And so finally, She was like, oh, so you haven't noticed that I lost 30 pounds? And then he was like, honestly, no. And then in the video, you literally see him be like, and she called me an asshole. And me and Jamila busted out laughing because we immediately understood, like, oh, dang, like the accuracy. But he looked confused because for him, if accuracy is his driver, that means that harmony is his 3-year-old.
So it's his weakest suit. So it's hard for him to understand or to put himself in other people's feelings.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what he said. Like, I don't understand like why she was hurt in that way. And then to take things even further, he starts talking more like, look, if you're like 180 pounds and then you lost 30 pounds or something like that. He didn't say this to her, but he's explaining to me and Shmina, like, if you're 180 and you lost 30 pounds, yes, I'm going to notice that you lost 30 pounds. But if you're 300 pounds and you lost 30, no, I'm not going to notice.
If you already live on the big side,
exactly.
That's close enough. You slammed down, but you still
exactly. And he said that other people at the work were coming up to him, man, you wrong. And he was so confused about that. Yeah. But to him in his head, he's like, dang, I'm just being accurate. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to like be a jerk. Like, this is just what I think. You watch the Boondocks.
Yeah.
Riley Freeman's also another ESTP.
Oh yeah, Riley.
Yeah. And he just says whatever he thinks.
Riley's brutally honest.
Yes. That harmony, he barely, he still likes to be in the mix. You know, but like he's very much like gotten into his accuracy function. Like, I'm gonna just say like
I'm gonna tell you how it is.
And that's just what it is. And so with that, like, but usually people with accuracy, they're not trying to be dicks. Some of them are. They because you know the honest thing to say is like, you know, I do know that this is gonna hurt your feelings, and I'm gonna still say it. Yeah. But then someone like you, it's like, I wasn't trying to hurt people's feelings. I was just joking, or I was just being honest. I would want somebody to be honest with me because I'm honest with myself. Just like you said, like I'd be calling my own BS out.
Yeah.
You know,
what the fuck you got going on?
Exactly. And so it's like, okay, since I do this to myself, then yeah, you know, I feel like other people would want me to do that to them. It's like, because this is like the gift that you offer the world. But not everybody wants that.
Because not everybody is okay with that.
Exactly. So then that causes you to be like, let me retract this. Oh man, it's a new person. Oh crap, I don't really know like how much I should say, because the more I talk, the more this accuracy might come out. Yeah. And this accuracy has isolated me from people at times. So, you know, I'm just like, you know, chill out in that way. And that's the same thing that happened with that guy that I profiled, the ICP, like with the accuracy as his driver. He was like, yes, you know, that's why I just don't say nothing no more. Like, because he's like, every time I talk, then it just hurts somebody's feelings. Yeah. But really, like, you know, they actually like do care a lot of times. So yeah. But yeah, that's essentially your type. Let me see.
Yeah, I remember you and your one friend mentioned it when we were playing poker last time. Y'all were going somewhere, or they mentioned like going to the escape room.
Oh yeah.
Someone was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I can definitely see them both being an ESTP. Me and Jacob.
Oh yeah. Jacob is actually ISTP. Huh. Yeah. So it's funny because our household is actually pretty. We all have like pretty much like the same mental processes in a way, except for Frank and Jamila. So if you look at it this way, I'm gonna just put it this way like that. So this is you, ESTP. This is Jacob, ISTP. This is me and Ella. So me and Ella are actually the same type, ENFJ. And then this is Frank and Jamila. So they're the same type, ISFP. So if you look at this, all four of us are like, well, four of us, all of us have the same sensation and perspectives. It's in different places in the car at times. Like,
yeah, actually different places,
but it's still there. Like in our
we all have like the same What is it?
It's called, you can call it a coin.
Yeah, the same coin.
Yeah.
Not the same coin,
Yeah,
but
or
it's just in
polarity.
different spots.
Exactly. But and then when it comes to like me, you, Jacob and Ella, we all have the same processes all together. Like again, just so we have both of the same coins, just like different spots.
Yeah.
But then with Frank and Jamila, they're the only ones who have like one separate coin different from us. So instead of like the harmony and accuracy, they have authenticity and effectiveness.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's not overload, authenticity is all about like, you know how like earlier you were like, why would I really go deep into like figuring out my feelings? That is what Frank and Jamila are doing all the time. So just like how you're always in sensation, like, all right, I'm vibing, I'm here in the moment, I'm all of that, I'm responding, I'm surveying like my surroundings, stuff like that, which by the way, they're also doing. It's their co-pilot. They're not doing it as much as you are, but it's still like close enough. There. Yeah. And then me and Ella, we also doing it, but we're not doing it as much as you and Jamila and all of them are in the same sense. But in that same sense, like so Jamila and Frank, they're always like, you know, like, yeah, how do I feel about this? Like, what are my core values? Like, you know, Frank, he's always like talking about, no, that's wrong. Nothing wrong, you know, whatever. Because it's like, this is the authenticity, like, do the right thing, be true to yourself, whatever. And like getting like in tune with the emotions in that sense and like being passionate about like what it is. Whereas like, for accuracy, it's kind of like, oh, man, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it is what it is.
It is exactly like, well, this just makes logical sense to me. This just makes logical sense to that. And then the effectiveness, so it's about like, okay, for them, it's like, all right, now that I know how I feel and now that I have my values in alignment, whatever I go after, whatever I try to like actually go and accomplish, I need to make sure that like it's still in alignment with my values and who I am. So whereas like for us, we have the harmony. It's just like, oh, I just don't want to hurt people's feelings. I want to make sure I'm connecting with people. But as I'm connecting with people, I got to make sure our way of staying true to ourselves is through our accuracy function. Like I can't be abandoning my actual like thoughts and opinions and logic on stuff. Whereas like for them, their way of staying true to themselves is their values, their emotions. So yeah, that was a lot of information.
Yeah. I got the gist of it. No, yeah. I'm a pretty good understander when I put it in like terms that I can understand it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Do you have like any questions at all? No, I understood what you meant though.
All right, so this is your go-to. The first coin is your go-to, and the opposite of that coin would be this, the perspective.
The 3-year-old.
The 3-year-old, which means that's your weakest subject.
Yes.
Your second strongest go-to, and then your third strongest go-to.
Correct.
And then these two, or you can sometimes go like this.
Yes, that's called a loop.
Yeah, a loop. You can loop because you can skip this one sometimes and go straight to this.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, me and you have a similar loop.
It's just reverse.
Exactly.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah. So we both be prone to like people pleasing, saying yes to people, and like really like trying to like be in the mix and all of that without going to our co-pilot. For you, it's like, wait, does it make sense? I'm like, why do I keep on taking shots when they give me this?
Like, moments like that where like I won't realize till after, like, this doesn't make sense, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Or why am I friends with these people if they're not, like, if I can't say my true thoughts, my true opinions and stuff like that. And then for me, it's like, okay, thinking long term, like, are these the types of relationships that I really want to invest in?
Yeah.
Like, is there meaning? What is the meaning behind whatever I'm doing? Like, so almost like the conversation we had, like with the shrooms and stuff like that. Like for me, like if I was just looping in that way, like for you, clearly, like, because this is what's like this perspectives. This is the part where like when you go on like shrooms or whatever like that, like that's what's really getting amplified. So for me, if I was to like do it, then this is what I'm always trying to get to, because me as a coach, what I'm trying to always help people develop is their co-pilot function. Because when you develop your co-pilot, everything else starts to work well, because you're not trying to abandon this. You just want this to keep, you're just trying to get your co-pilot to keep your 10-year-old in check. and you're trying to get your driver and your co-pilot to also like work together. So you don't want your driver and your 10-year-old to just be in cahoots, but you also want to demonize the 10-year-old. You want to have your co-pilot because these two are the adults. So for me, I'm always trying to develop my co-pilot. And so with the shrooms or whatever like that, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
this is expanding in that way.
Expanding your co-pilot.
Exactly. For you, it's like, you know, oh, like this makes sense. And that was like enough for you. Like you didn't need too much more of the deep philosophical or whatever, because that's not really like where your forte is. Maybe in the future, as you continue to grow, like for me, I'm going to be 29 later on this year. And because I got into this stuff like early and I learned about it, I always was like, oh, nah, I want to make sure that my accuracy, even though it's 3-year-old, I don't want nobody to ever call me out on it. I know it's never going to be as strong as yours, but I do try to like make sure, okay, does this make sense? Like whatever. Yeah. And this is why, like, you know, Jacob, he has his accuracy. So he has the same functions as like I said, but his is backwards. So his accuracy,
make sure everything makes sense.
Yes. When we're playing poker and stuff, like, you know, just in comparison, like, you know, you'll see, for example, like when it's Ella and Jacob like explaining instructions. That's why I don't be trying to even explain instructions because Jacob, he's looking at the accuracy.
Yeah, he's
like,
looking at to see if that makes
sense. Yeah, exactly. Whereas like with me and Ella, it's like our accuracy is a 3-year-old. So
yeah, y'all just like y'all say it's good.
And I remember there was one time we were playing poker and it was you and Jacob. Y'all were both like correcting her, like, no, actually, I think it's more like this, and boom, boom, boom. And I couldn't help but see, like, oh, the two high accuracy people are like, wait a minute,
we can't play this if it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Whereas, like, our forte, like, okay, let's bring the people together. Let's see where the vision for the household is going, and like all of that. You know, like, let's see like what the deeper meaning behind whatever might be. So it's like knowing like your strengths in that sense, but. Again, because I like to really like work on my accuracy, this is why like I sit down and I like focus and I try to like take notes on certain things. It's harder for me. Like for you, it comes easy. Oh, that makes sense. For me, I'm like, all right, wait, can you say that like another time?
Does it really make sense?
Yeah. But then when I do finally get it down, then it's like, okay, now I know this like inside out because I broke it down to such small baby pieces that now I'm able to like teach it. But it takes a lot of work, just like it would take you a lot of work to really like get into the
long term, super thoughtful process.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it would take me a while to get there, but it'll take some working on.
Yeah, I mean, look, at 24, then you know you're already like pretty much there, and I feel like now that you at least know this, because I know that you were talking about like how you really trying to like get your life together and everything like that. Well, here and there, we can really start talking about this car, you know, like, and we can start talking about like how these are all like showing up and, you know, some ways that you can develop this. The way that I see it is like, if this is a dog and this is a baby, it's not actually a baby. Like if the 3-year-old is a dog and the co-pilot's a baby, the more that you feed a baby, like in their seat, the more food that they're dropping to the floor, right? And then the more that the dog is going to be able to eat. And so we're just going to continue to like feed your co-pilot and like strengthen it.
Yeah, that way your 3-year-old can become big and strong.
Catch on quick.
Yeah, I catch on pretty fast.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything. I know that was long, but
that's pretty dope. I did not know any of this existed tonight.
Cool. You have any final questions, or you good?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure I understood it, or I was getting the gist of everything early, or as you were explaining it.
Perfect.
You did a really good job at explaining everything.
Awesome.
At least to my attentive. That's something that like I would understand. So that was pretty good.
Thank you for taking the time to watch that video. And if you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe. It actually really helps out my channel a lot, so that more people who actually care about what I want to say can actually find me a lot more easier. Also, if you did enjoy it, then maybe you'll enjoy a lot of my other content as well. So be sure to check out some of my playlists where you'll be able to find a lot of my older videos and older content. And last but not least, if you would like any profiling sessions or coaching sessions, be sure to check out denzelmensah.com, where you'll be able to book me and you'll see the rest of my services. But thanks again and have a great day.